Hey guys, it's Scared Eye 7 from Scared Eye Productions, and today I want to teach you this really cool trick called the no comply 180 finger flip. So this is a cool variation of the no comply 180, but as I'm going to explain later, you don't actually need a no comply 180, and it looks really cool in lines. Now, if you have a no comply 180 down, it will definitely be helpful, but I would say the only thing you really need to have down is some other popping trick, like a caveman, a boneless, or a tiger claw. So for your foot positioning on this trick, you're going to want to have your feet exactly like a no comply 180. So if you've already done a no comply 180, you can skip this step. But if you haven't done a no comply 180, pay attention. So your foot positioning for this trick, you're going to want to have your front foot anywhere from the middle to the top of the board. And this is all dependent on the weight of your board and how tall you are. And your back foot is the same thing. You can either have it in the center or in the pocket depending on how big your board is, right? This all depends on if it's harder or easier for you to pop. You have to remember that you want enough power to pop it, but you don't want to lose control of it. So I would say just experiment with this foot positioning and just see what works for you. Step 1 of this trick is going to be the actual popping and catching the board. And so this is actually a very similar step to the first step of the no comply 180. So if you already have a no comply 180 on, all you need to do is just practice the first step of catching. But if you don't have a no comply 180, pay attention. So essentially this first step, you're eventually going to take off your front foot only when you feel ready, because you want to be fully stable when doing this trick. So when you feel ready, you're riding along, you start to bend your knees and you take off your front foot. Once you take off your front foot, the board's going to want to have a tendency to pop up. And so the board is naturally going to want to pop up. And then the next thing, the most important part of the trick is that once the board starts to pop up into the air, you want to grab the board grab the nose of the board with your front hand. Either your left one if you're regular or your right hand if you're goofy, which is going to start to initiate the second step. The second step of the trick is going to be the actual flip of the no comply 180 finger flip. Now this step's actually very similar to the second step of the boneless frontside flip. So if you already have that trick down, this step won't actually be that hard because you already have a lot of the ideas and concepts down to really apply to this trick. So to start off, once you catch the board by the nose, right, and you're about to initiate the 180 of this trick. So essentially, the main thing I want to emphasize with the 180 is that when you do any sort of 180, you have to turn your arms, and that's because when you turn your arms turn, your body turns, and then your board turns. It's a seamless motion. It just happens. You have to really experience it for yourself. If you don't really believe me, try 180 on flat, just like a 180 with your body, and you'll see what I mean. It really does help initiate with learning. If you don't turn your arms, you're gonna almost twist your body. So the main thing I want to emphasize to this trick is that once you have catched the board, start to turn your body 180, because then the board is actually going to be in your hand, so it's going to naturally turn 180. This is why I say you don't need a no comply 180, because with a no comply 180 you have to drag your board around the whole 180, but this trick you can sort of just pull it along, so it just flows really easy. So as long as you initiate the 180 the way I told you with the arms, your body will soon follow. The board will already be moving 180, and all you have to do is just follow it with your back foot. Now, you have to remember the flip though, right? This is a no comply 180 finger flip. So, while the board is moving 180, I would say about a quarter of the way through, or whenever you really feel comfortable, you're going to want to add that flip. And the way I want to describe that flip is sort of like an inward twist. You're sort of twisting, almost like a tornado in a way. You want to think of it as the fastest inward motion you could possibly ever do, because this trick, this flip, is, in my opinion, pretty difficult, especially for an intermediate or a beginner skater. So just practice that on its own on flat before you really put it into the no comply 180 finger flip, and I think that you guys can definitely get this down. So just to re-emphasize, turn your arms 180, the board starts to turn the 180, and about a quarter of the way through, add that flip, I would say. And then that's going to actually lead into the third step. The third step of the trick is going to be the actual landing and catching of the board. So during the third step, the board is done like that full 180, it has done the entire flip, and now you need to sort of bring everything back down to earth, right? So the way I like to think about this is that you're actually doing the entire motion with your hand. Unlike a boneless frontside flip, where you're sort of catching it with your back foot, your back foot's actually gonna, your front hand in this case is actually gonna stop the rotation, and then your back foot is gonna catch it. So the way this is gonna go is that once the board's on the full 180 and the flip, your front hand is actually going to catch the board so that it stops and doesn't let it overflip. Once you feel comfortable, you can let go, and your back foot that's been right near the board is going to catch the board and keep it stable. That way, whenever you feel comfortable, you can just put your front foot on, bend your knees, and ride away. I see two common errors that could possibly occur during this trick. One could be a miss in flip, meaning you only do like a half flip, but you got the whole rotation down. And all that means really is that you gotta really just practice that flip. I mean, like over and over. You gotta practice that inward flip, like a twisted motion, over and over again on the ground. So that's the point where you can just sort of have it so that you can just do it in your sleep, literally. That way, when you apply it to this trick, it will be pretty seamless. Also, if you have a caveman finger flip down or any other finger flip like that, it will generally help for this trick. This trick is not necessarily a beginner trick. Another common error that I see that could occur is a miss in rotation. This sort of leads back to what I was talking about with your arms. If you're not fully turning your arms, you are most likely not really going to get a stable landing. I had to actually experience this for myself, but it totally pays off. If you do that 180 motion with your arms, your body will follow, and then you will be fully stable. So I would say just practice doing a 180 on flat without the board, like literally just with your body to see how it works, and then practice turning your arms and your body the full 180. Also, you might want to get down like a boneless frontside 180, because that's actually an easier 180 trick that's actually will really help you for this trick. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for similar content. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram, because a lot of the big things that happen on this channel, such as like sneak peeks and whatnot, are stuff that I typically post on Instagram. So that might be a good idea to follow if you want like a sneak peek. Also, make sure that you leave comments for like future video ideas, because I am honestly running ideas and I would love to make videos based on what you guys like. This whole channel is to entertain you guys, to really just help you guys out. And so if you guys have any other suggestions or anything that you want me to do, just leave a comment below. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video today, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.